Warning. Federal law provides severe civil and criminal penalties for the unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or exhibition of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs. Criminal copyright infringement is investigated by the FBI and may constitute a felony with a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison and or a $250,000 fine.
Let this be a lesson, kids. Don't pirate anime, or Johnny Young Bosch will kill you and eat your soul. Android J was secretly built by the government to be the partner of Special Agent Daisuke Aurora and to combat crime in the oceanic city-nation of Judo. While J initially appears to be human, the illusion quickly disappears in clouds of scorching steam when he fights. The most dangerous criminals will soon find themselves on the run from the underground legend known as the Heat Guy. Okay, so Heat Guy J. First impressions? I have to admit that the brief synopsis that I read here doesn't really make this show fly off the shelf for me. So basically what you got is a crime-fighting police anime set in the future with a titular character who just happens to be an android. Whoop-dee-freaking-do! Like we haven't seen that before. On an unrelated note, check out my Ghost in the Shell wall scroll that I got up. Yeah, she's a beauty, ain't she?
Anyway, so in this show you have a crime-fighting duo. First, a human with questionable gender, Daisuke Aurora, who is a charismatic slacker of a special agent that, while he would prefer to do nothing all the time, is actually quite capable at his job. And within number 2 is his robotic android pal J, a silent protector of justice. He is an android in the very traditional type of android, looking human but not actually being human and just having human characteristics. As such, he always has this air of stiffiness around him that just adds to the robot feel, though thankfully he does come equipped with his very own artificial personality, who knows exactly what being a man is like.
A man should not show signs of pain in front of the enemy.
If I'm lucky, the rain will rust your mouth shut.
Each episode, Daisuke and Jay go about and do what all respectable agents of the government do: fight crime. Or since they are specifically in an agency that is supposed to stop crime before it happens, they try to do that instead. It doesn't always turn out that way, but they do the best they can. In this way, the show can be very episodic. You start with the status quo, and then by the end of the episode, everything's back to normal, move on. There are little hiccups in the quo here and there, of course, but none of them are really impactful, I guess you could say. They don't have too much of a lasting effect, both on the plot and the viewer. There is nothing about this show that will throw you, nothing that will make you go,
Whoa! I totally did not expect that, but it was completely awesome. No, there's nothing of that.
It's very safe. It's like they go about it trying to do for police shows what Trigun and Bebop did for westerns, but it's just not happening. And I think one of the main problems with this is that there is no big evil bad guy from start to finish. The closest the show has is Claire Leonelli, and I will admit he should have been the show's big bad. He really should have, because, quite frankly, his character is awesome. He's like the Joker, but in an anime. He's clever, doesn't give two shits about you, or really anything for that matter, and hell, in the beginning of the show, he comes off as a real heartless maniac.
Please, give him back to me!
Alright, now back over it.
Unfortunately, though, he backs out of the spotlight around the halfway point and really doesn't show up again until the finale. And the real evil bad guy, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I was quite disappointed and not really impressed. Moving into the studio history for the show, Heat Guy J was produced by Statelight, a group that loves the use of 3D CGI even more than Gonzo, if that was even possible, but I'll get to that in a minute. Previously, they have been responsible for the basketball mech extravaganza that is Besquash, the Gundam competitor of Macross Frontier, and, oh yeah, Baldur Force EXE. So we got a mech show, another mech show, and a cyber show. Wait, no, that had Mech 2 in it? Yeah, okay, so just a lot of mech shows. And obviously that comes with the gratuitous use of CGI. And the CGI in Heat Guy is not bad. It's not in-your-face enough to become annoying, but it's not Avatar either. If you ever have to use CG in a show, this is probably the amount you should aim for, because, hell, I've seen worse. Much worse. Alright, so now let's listen to some of Heat Guy's music.
Whoops, sorry, that was the theme from Terminator 2. You have to admit, it does kind of fit.
But it's definitely not the right soundtrack because it does not have one thing. You want to know what that is? Bagpipes.
Heat guy.
And you know what? Bagpipes are awesome. And this show comes packed so full of them it isn't even funny. That should seriously be a quote for the box art. Contains 100% of your daily supply of bagpipes. There you go, Funimation. Free of charge. But seriously, I enjoy the music to all anime quite a bit, but if there are two specific things in it, I usually end up enjoying it a lot more. A saxophone, or B, freaking bagpipes. Now the only problem with these bagpipes is that while they are indeed awesome and there's no fault with them, they are only on one track. It's one song, one track, that's it. Thankfully though, the track usually plays when Jay arrives and does some awesomely badass things. But it is just one track nonetheless and therefore cannot carry the whole OST as a whole. But like, still, bagpipes. Come on. Which somehow now brings us into the dub, and I like talking about dubs that are over 5 years old. Now, these days, you have wonderful stuff coming out of Funimation. Just beautiful dubs coming out of Funimation. You know, with your Minyanas and your Habercorns, your Sabbats, Palencias, and all those wonderful folk who are, in their own right, extremely awesome and have set new standards for what an anime dub should sound like. So when you have standards like that, and then you look at these older dubs, you have a few options. You can absolutely hate and bash on it because it's not up to the standards you're used to, or go, hey, it's older, let's cut it a bit of slack. Sure, it's not perfect, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And that mindset there applies perfectly to Heat Guy J. There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong with this dub. In fact, there are actually several things that I think are praiseworthy about it. For example, I knew Johnny Young Bosch can act like a crazy mofo after seeing him as Lelouch in Code Geass, but as Claire Leonelli, man, that's a whole different ballgame of crazy right there. Another worthy mention is voice actor Bob Pappenbrook, who voices Jay. I'll be honest in saying that before this, I had never heard of him, and you probably haven't either, because he hasn't been in many lead roles. And that saddens me, because it was really good. I liked him. Anyways. At first, I'll admit I wasn't a fan of either the opening or the ending, but over time, the opening grew on me, to a point where I was singing along with the English parts to it by the final episodes. It's one of those few things that when you just start listening to it, it's just like, yeah, Heat Guy J, awesome, woo! And the ending, well, that's nothing to write home about. Let's move on. Which leads us finally to the verdicts. Again, I really wish that Claire was the final villain. It just had so much more flair, and I think a good story could have been written and have been more enjoyable. Now, as it is, it's not bad. It's not great, but receiving the bronze at best. On any normal occasion, I'd have to firmly put this in the rent category, but I'm gonna tell you it's worth the buy for one reason. It's $20. No, seriously, at the time of this review, it is $20. If it changes later, then it's back to rental status, but at $20, that's less than $1 for each episode. And I'd argue that this show is well worth that, but hey, it's your money and you can spend it however you want.
So that's it for me. Until next week, stay frosty.
Hey boy, looking for the
Hi there! Is that you, Mr. Ducky? How you doing? That's right, it's me. Guess what? I'm sending you a gift. It'll be there real soon. Yeah, fireworks! Real soon. I really hope you like them. Goodbye.